everybody, this is Marley K. I have a quick public service announcement that I want to bring to people. I'm not sure if you use marijuana recreationally. I do not. I never have. So this does not necessarily impact me, but I know people who smoke marijuana recreationally. And I also know of a few people that have passed away over the past year from coming in contact with fentanyl. Black people. And it's typically something that Black people don't touch. And so I want to talk about it because fentanyl has shown up being laced with marijuana. And this story came out at the end of 2021. I didn't hear anybody talking about it in 2022, but I find it interesting that I'm finding more and more young people overdosing and passing away from using marijuana laced with fentanyl, and there's not a lot of talk about it. So I'm going to read this story. So inside of the, and let me go back. So this story is from Connecticut, but other states around the nation have also had similar issues. In Los Angeles, Miami, and other states just across the nation have had a lot of incidents of people coming in contact with fentanyl, but not, nobody's putting the pieces together. So that's the only reason that I'm talking about it. And I'm also talking about it because I want Black people to be cognizant that there's something going on, and you should be careful about using recreational drugs. I don't care if you have a reputable person that you buy your drugs from. If you're not buying them from legal dispensers, then your risk is higher these days for coming in contact with marijuana laced with fentanyl. I don't know whether it's intentional to drive people to buy marijuana from dispensaries, or if it is just something that's happening in an effort to delete people, certain people. If this drug is more potent and is found in marijuana, we know who typically smokes marijuana more than other groups. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, people. Inside the Connecticut Forensic Science Lab, they are looking at drug detection considered so potentially potent its lab examiners have naloxone on standby. Detecting fentanyl was not a big surprise to us. It was just the manner in which it was found, Michael Rickenbach, deputy director of the chemical analysis section, explained. It was found laced on marijuana. Rickenbach said fentanyl is one of the top 5 reported drugs brought in as evidence to the lab, but this particular piece of evidence, connected with a recent overdose in Plymouth, is the first lab-confirmed case of fentanyl mixed with marijuana ever found in Connecticut and potentially across the country. In the past 4 months, the Connecticut Department of Public Health reports there have been 39 cases where people needed naloxone and had to be revived after apparent opioid overdoses. The patients said they only had smoked marijuana. What we hope is that this will steer people away from that illegal market and bring them towards the legalized side of things, said Brian Foley, assistant to the commissioner of the Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection. So this is why I say this lacing with this fentanyl may have more to it than we realize, because if you go to a legal dispensary, that means the state gets tax dollars from that. It means it's regulated. It means you have to show your identification to get it. And it's just more Big Brother. Anywho, Foley told NBC Connecticut that narcotics dealers say adding fentanyl keeps them competitive with the growing legalized medical and commercial marijuana market. It's so easy to get add in the addiction factor, and it just keeps people coming to the same dealer, Foley said. So I just wanted to mention this as a public service announcement that marijuana use is getting real tricky. And if you use it recreationally, you may want to consider not using it. Um, if you're African American, you are likely of Hebrew lineage, and we're not supposed to be using that anyway. So we should be refraining from using anything that is going to cause us to be out of our natural state, losing our minds, losing our lives, because that is not what we are called to do. It is not who we are called to be. We are called to be a set apart people, and being set apart means we eat differently, we consume alcohol differently. We do not use drugs, not in the manner just for recreational use. We use herbs for medicinal purposes. And if it's not for healing your body, it should not be where it's an addiction type of situation. So that's just my 2 cents. But I can't tell people what to do. People are grown. People have been conditioned to believe that they can use these different vices to address, certain issues regularly. But what you're going to find going forward is that, you're in a situation where you're not going to really have a choice. Marijuana use is going to become so dangerous that you're going to be either forced to buy it from a dispensary, or you're going to have to stop using it and find some other means to feed your addiction. So if you use marijuana, be careful. I don't care if you buy it from the same person. Drugs have too many hands touching it to be trusted these days. And that's why I can't do drugs, because I don't trust people like that. It's not like going to a restaurant and getting food. Your drugs might have to come from a whole other country and stuck up in somebody's butt, or I don't know, just the stories. So anyway, I'm out. Don't forget to like the video, share it, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to my Rumble and Odyssey channels. And please leave me your comments below. I don't expect you to leave any telltale signs about marijuana use, but if if you know someone that has passed away or had to be brought back because of fentanyl, or using something that was laced with fentanyl, please share your stories. I know of at least four over the last year. 3 were fatal. 1 was not. 1 was almost fatal. 2 were teenagers. 2 were adults using drugs recreationally. So this is not the time to be doing anything risky, people. There's a depopulation agenda out here, and if you're African American, for sure, you're being targeted. And the fact that fentanyl is being laced with marijuana is real suspect to me, because we don't deal with opioids too fast. Those are not our drugs of choice. So just a public service announcement. Be careful out here, y'all. Take it easy, and I'll talk to you later.